Back from the break and back on the pitch. We've got New York and San Antonio, Game 2. New York winning Game 1. I'm Reed Marchman on the cast, joined by Jack McGovern. Jack, after the first game, we talked about the beater play of San Antonio. That 18-wheeler lineup was working extremely well for them, but it's only sustainable for so long due to some of the injuries that they've received. Luckily, though, Bailey Fields rejoining the team today has made a huge impact.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was effective for the minutes, but I'm excited to see what else San Antonio can offer here to present a challenge to New York strategically. The win in Game 1 for New York was calm, cool, and collected as they come. And there were some sloppy moments towards the beginning, but they really eased their way into the game and gave one of their better performances of the season, I think. Yeah,
and for San Antonio, I think if some of their shots can fall, maybe it's a closer game, and the energy of that close game can maintain, some of that heightened level of play.
Yeah, energy is everything as we're getting into day 2 of a national tournament.
Yeah, Melkite said that. I mean, this team feeds off of that. They play to that energy. And so not only the players on the field have an impact on that, but the sideline is always going crazy, getting hyped for big plays, catch of a beater, a assist from a driving player. I mean, it's like every bit of the game it is like an extreme example of just hype incarnate for this sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're going to see the same enthusiasm from the New York sideline with their "How strong, too strong" chant, if you can hear on the broadcast as we wait out an early stoppage with New York possessing the quaffle. I'm excited to see how these teams perform in Game 2.
So New York won quaffle in Game 1. They get it again in Game 2, even less contested. San Antonio is going to hold on to that bludger. And New York has control of bludgers and quaffle right now. John Jackson just trying to create any sort of pressure here. He's going to pass it behind. I mean, just like last game, exactly the same way. Peter Lawrence is the first scorer on the team. John Jackson, the assister on the play. I mean, it's a carbon copy.
Yeah, New York is attacking the space behind the hoops very effectively. They've done that all season, but I think it's been especially deadly against San Antonio because of how they set up their zone defense and how their beaters scramble behind the hoops to address the player behind the hoop. The rotations are working in New York's favor right now.
Yeah, Lawrence feeling themselves a little bit with a little dance on the point defense. But
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, getting that early goal is just so big. I mean, we talked about the San Antonio energy, but New York thriving on it too. Langlanay, we look to have a big game, but I mean, an immediate turnover is not the way he's looking to start.
Yeah, you can't try to pass through John Jackson.
Yeah, and right back the other way. I mean, it doesn't even have to be said. Once you pick that ball off, we saw it in the Austin-Boston game, right around the hoops. It's a fast break with a big emphasis on fast.
Yeah, and look what Devin Lee just did. He was the reason that John Jackson was able to go up the pitch. He tied up Tyler Tracy. He had all the bludgers and then kept bludger control for the Titans as San Antonio is under severe distress right now.
And we were praising San Antonio's beater play, but thus far, I mean, New York is the one that is kind of controlling that narrative.
Yeah, and with Devin Lee in the game, they are one of the best beating cores around.
And now we get Langlanay back on track. The shot is going to go through. If we see one or two of those early, just like Austin Viejo that we mentioned last time, we're probably going to see a few more shots out of him.
Yeah, Langlanay is another one of those players who just bring another level of athleticism for the Soldados, an ability to beat their chaser defenders one-on-one that makes them super dangerous for the Soldados.
Yeah, also a Team USA player, Langlanay. Mentioned that Cody Marshall, one of his biggest fans, raving about the fact that Langlanay had a 50-pound dumbbell mailed to his house in preparation for that World Cup competition.
Got to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that shot good? No, it drops off the bottom of the hoop, but Morella able to clean up that pass, which is not easy. It's a deflected ball down into the ground. You pick it up off the bounce and immediately shoot it before anybody can get in the air.
Amazing anticipation to know that Aaron Sebia was going to rip a shot, and San Antonio comes back on the other end and scores. What a response.
Lieber just screaming down the field, passing it to Jenna Adams, able to finish the goal.
Yeah, the Soldados are holding bludger control right now with Taylor Tracy and Jess Markle. I have to imagine they were key in creating the no bludgers opportunity there.
Yeah, in day one, Jess Markle just key for the San Antonio team. I mean, she put in crazy amounts of minutes. I would argue probably more minutes than anybody else on the team at the time.
Yeah.
In the absence of Bailey Fields, she had a lot of minutes to really overtake.
Yeah, Jason Rosenberg now working as Markle is going to miss a beat.
And another miss beat from Taylor Tracy. That's going to get Aaron Seba an easy drive in.
And a hoop was knocked down as Arancibia was getting ready to fire that one into the heavens. I think the refs are going to discuss this one. And Arancibia behind the hoops just adds another element to the New York Titans. You saw him dodge a beat there.
Yep.
So he is just so hard to defend, whether you're sending a chaser or a beater behind the hoops. He can make you miss.
Yeah. And for somebody of that size to have that amount of quickness, that's why he's so dangerous on the pitch.
Yeah, New York has so many weapons. It's been really interesting to see how they've deployed some of their bigger players off ball behind the hoops in the spaces on the wings. Typically, you see bigger players carrying the ball maybe up top. I think New York is doing a really interesting job of moving them around the pitch and putting them in dangerous positions.
All right, play resumes. Taylor Tracy with the bludger on defense. Whereas New York with control.
Yeah, Rosenberg was able to recover bludger control with his partner, Rachel Ayala Silver, on the missed beat from Markle.
And you'll see Ayala Silver on the bottom of your screen working into the defense, giving Rosenberg that chance to beat Tracy. An opening, but Tracy able to recover after a tag in. And that's going to be an out-of-bounds turnover for San Antonio, or for New York in San Antonio's favor.
Yeah, great job from Austin Viejo to force Arancibia out of bounds there. Awareness of where the sidelines are. Players have been struggling a whole weekend with knowing exactly where the out-of-bounds lines are, and defenders now are realizing that they can take advantage of that a little bit.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of that sideline celebration hype from Craig Garrison giving Austin a little high five for the play. All right, 2-3 is the score. All right, Luke Langlanay on the drive. The pass is going to be low, but it's going to be picked up. Still a possession to be made. Rosenberg able to clean up, though.
Yeah, Rosenberg was everywhere there, winning the exchange and then cleaning up the play on defense along with Rachel Ayala Silver.
And New York, settling back into that offense, they had somewhat of a slow start. I think both teams are executing much better in the first couple minutes of this game. Yada, looking for the pass, does get it. Taylor Crawford on the backside. Back again. This time Mohagog is the one who receives it. Oh, gets stuffed at the hoops. A great defensive play. Is that Avila on the defense?
Yeah, hoops flying everywhere.
Again, more. And now one more drive. Taylor Crawford. We've got an injured player on the field, though. They do stop play.
Yeah, I like to see the sportsmanship from New York there.
Yeah, Mohagog on the ground. And excuse me, Austin Viejo was the one on the block. What is it? Oh, yeah.
I think you might have been right the first time. I think it is Hagag.
Oh, no, Hagag on the ground. Yeah.
I thought it was Viejo, too.
No. Viejo got the block. Was able to get the block on defense.
Yeah, Hagag receiving some attention.
and getting some water out to some of the other players. I know Mo coming into the day, nursing a small injury from yesterday. To say these players are coming in fresh after, I mean, a brutal quarterfinals for almost everybody would be a blatant lie. Bumps and bruises, you're going to be accruing those, as the day goes on. And the deeper we go into this tournament, from semifinals into the finals even, I mean, it's almost less about your the skill level is going to be so high and equal. It's how well you took care of yourself coming in as well.
Yeah, and remember, New York is the only semifinalist who played 3 games yesterday. Yeah. They, of course, lost Game 1 to Charlotte, who really gave them their best punch in the opening round of the series. And New York has made the road more difficult for themselves by not rising to the challenge early on. They're carrying 1 extra game compared to all the rest of the teams.
Yeah, good to see Mohgog get up off the ground, favoring his right knee. San Antonio probably appreciative of the break, though, with some of the injuries that they've received. The depth chart definitely gets pressured there, and any sort of rest like that can be a good rest. Offensively, New York still has the quaffle. That was a lie. as we turned the ball over. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No, we've got the and it is. Yeah, Victor Meltzer subbing in for Mohgog with the quaffle. And the score. Yep, just a quick dump pass. I mean, not a lot you can do defensively whenever they are almost half a foot away. But San Antonio now finding themselves down 2. Still not out of it by any means. I think the first step, though, is they will be looking for bludger control. Taylor Tracy going to be working together.
Yeah, you're seeing a mark defense from the Titans right now. They're going to be tough to break down. Yeah, Markle able to get control now. Excuse me. There's Bailey Fields. And the shot. Austin Viejo. Now we've got things going. Yeah, Viejo was able to beat Meltzer one-on-one with a nice spin move and then locate the hoops for the shot. Very well played from the San Antonio keeper. Bailey Fields and Tracy able to maintain control now. On defense, it's going to be a lot easier to defend against this New York attack that has been utilizing the backside of the hoops a lot. Prada bringing the ball up. Taylor Crawford on the right side. Morella on the left. Meltzer behind the hoops. Crawford getting the ball on the right. The shot opportunity, and he's going to score. Just so much confidence. Yeah, Crawford is on fire right now. 5 goals in the first game, 1 here now. Austin Viejo on the transition, not able to replicate the same results that Crawford had on the other end. Shot's going to go down and out, and New York now with an opportunity to really take control of this game. Up 2, going up 3 could be huge. Ooh, nice little split kick dodge. The wrap up and the turnover. That's good for San Antonio. Yeah, a bit of a heat check for Taylor Crawford there. Swallowed up by the San Antonio defense, who are now sending chasers more quickly back behind the hoops, realizing what New York is trying to do. And let's see. I mean, San Antonio with control. The offense should be better. But a ill-advised pass straight to the defending keeper is just not the way you're going to do it. Yeah, that was just not the kind of patient possession that we're used from seeing from San Antonio in the half court. I would like to see them try to get out on the break a little bit because I think they could make a difference there. All right, Rosenberg going to work. Lone bludger for New York. Parada. Tracy able to create something, and the block is good enough. That's a turnover, and no bludgers going the other way for at least 5 seconds. Okay, Rosenberg is going to get a favorable roll from that bludger. Yeah, so just not quick enough from San Antonio. I know the quaffle went out of bounds, but they should be on the sideline demanding the ball as soon as possible and ready to run.
Although with a roll like that, Bludger was going for New York, I don't think the fast break would have been too easy, honestly. Tracy able to get the beat. Langlanet on the drive is passing it off to Avila. Avila in the middle. Has clearance, and Parada is able to just Avila didn't even get the ball out of his hands. Parada just put a hands right up there and just, essentially stole it.
Yeah, nice defensive play from Parada. Not usually known for his defense in the same way as a John Jackson or a David Fox, but a timely hand there in the way of the San Antonio chaser.
In San Antonio, I think needing that goal from this line, haven't been able to do as much, but the beater play has been stellar. It's just New York now, they sold out essentially on that play, losing control, hoping to get the goal for the investment, but gets nothing out of it. Bailey Fields, though, is going to be able to get a bludger back. No, Josh Mansfield's going to give that back to New York. A throw after beat.
Yeah, you're seeing Fiona Weishart and Jason Rosenberg in the game at beater for the Titans, holding bludger control.
Yeah, Peter Lawrence now going to the backside. They are the youngest player on this New York roster today at 22 years old. All right, the drive. John Jackson now with a little bit of an opening, but San Antonio gets up on their feet pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and they're going to be patient.
Rosenberg just lost bludger control to Bailey Fields. A little bit too aggressive. Can't play that way on a Team USA vet like Bailey Fields.
Yep. And Fields able to retain one. Yeah, Tracy gets the other, and that's a turnover. Going the other way, San Antonio, as Melkite subs out, and Kylie McBride comes in, we are shifting into that 18-wheeler set.
Yeah, here it comes.
Pulling out of the station. We've got the horn blaring, right?
Yeah.
And Luke Langlanet hoping to make a few kids on the passing road pretty happy.
Right.
All right, patient play. Waiting for Bailey Fields and Kylie McBride to create somewhat of an opening with the beater pressure. Here's the opportunity. McBride waiting for Rosenberg to turn his back. This is it. No, she pulls back just in time. Rosenberg turning at a crucial moment. Devin Lee, the supporting beater there. Trying to keep Bailey Fields away. Langlanet faking the pump fake shot. It's Viejo calling for a pick, maybe a pass. Wrapped up, though. Great defense. Asking for beater help. Or even chase, or is Kylie McBride's going to throw one bludger back? The quaffle's going to go all the way back to the hoops, but nobody's eligible there.
Yeah, Austin Viejo was just swallowed up by Mike Lee, who continues to make an impact defensively for the Titans. He's been large with the stop there.
And John Alvarez just not tagged in time to be an eligible receiver on the backside, maybe. And they will be conferring to make sure that that is the right call. Absolutely an opportunity, but just, New York defense, the physicality that they are bringing. It's the East team that has that physical edge this game. That's what the difference was there.
Yeah, Reed, I know you're from the Southwest, and most people might expect that the Southwest to have
they're soft
physicality.
They're soft,
and the East teams to not. But yeah, I think you're right. You're seeing the New York team come out with a little bit more of an edge today.
No, I really do hope that we would have buried that assumption long ago. We are years past any sort of gap in physicality among teams. Yeah. It's at the top level. Everybody is going to have that physical presence. Right. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody the kind of physical nature that we're seeing out of this New York team.
For sure.
Okay, still conferring on the call. 5-3 New York. And do you mind giving me the time?
Yeah, we're at 11 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, viewers, you can see the times, but if you haven't noticed, we cannot always. Requires me to lean over and ask my producer, Nick Jablonski.
So San Antonio down 2. I think if they can get into snitch on pitch play within 2 points or within 2 goals, I think that's going to be just a huge morale boost, especially if they were the last ones to score before that stoppage. Obviously, bludger control at snitch on pitch feels like the most important thing. In the Austin-Boston series, I mean, Boston had 8 tries at the snitch before Austin really even got 1 and was able to come away with it simply because they had bludger control at 20 minutes. So if San Antonio can do that, if they can get a goal or 2 here as we close down, the final half of this first 20 minutes, then that is enough for me to believe in this San Antonio team.
Yeah, I'd love to see them get a couple quick looks on the counterattack. Just, the New York defense is hard to break down.
Yeah.
They're hard to pass around. They don't give you many open windows. So if they can use their beaters to maybe press defensively and then force a turnover, I think that would be key for them in terms of staying in range with New York.
Mm-hmm. For sure. In New York, this series has done an incredible job on the back of a falling Devin Lee to get bludgers back to his hoops. But
what an acrobatic play.
Right,
It's so fun to watch.
You fall to look good on the way up, right?
This is
another stumble. John Jackson able to get the ball off to Morella, and she's going to score.
Yeah, Lee briefly created a no-bludger situation, and Fields wasn't able to recover in time for the quaffle, although now she is able to regain both bludgers for herself and her partner, Kylie McBride.
San Antonio, obviously not happy about giving up the goal, but with an offensive possession where you do have both of these bludgers, they are much more confident here. Bailey Fields, Kelly McBride, just such a dynamic duo. And a poor shot, honestly. I don't even think that it was necessarily an open hoop. Obviously, the block's going to come through. But, I mean, sure, you keep bludger control, but you got to put points on the board.
Yeah, McIntyre just not quite recognizing how quick John Jackson can cover all 3 hoops at keeper. He is a defender to be feared.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, good beat by Bailey Fields. No, they call it no beat, but she is going to retain 1. The immunity call was not valid, but not called by the refs. Frank Minson able to keep 1 at the very least. Bailey Fields tagging up on the left hoop. John Jackson with the quaffle. Frank Minson escorting. All right, the pass is going to go behind. We got the shot, but it's going to roll off the top of the hoop.
Mike Lee falling away from the hoop. The fade away off the back foot. Bold shot.
Yeah, and it's going to be a throw after beat. I almost called it out, but we had a lot of action in the quaffle game. But McBride's going to go to the box. That is going to be a bludger turnover back to the New York hoops due to the fact that Devin Lee is ineligible at the moment. And a timeout for San Antonio. So with the possession now, Devin Lee running back to his hoops to pick up this bludger. New York, I don't think San Antonio has a bludger in hand. They could pressure immediately, or they could wait for Devin Lee to help escort this team down the field with both bludgers for New York.
Yeah, this is a big possession for the Titans coming out of the timeout. I think San Antonio is talking over how to stop New York on the power play. They would like to not go down 4 goals, or if they do go down 4 goals, have a plan to attack and make sure they can respond quickly because a little mini run from New York, especially against the 18-wheeler lineup from San Antonio that they like so much, would be a gut punch to the Soldados' hopes.
And we haven't seen any fast breaks out of San Antonio, and that's really because New York has been so solid as far as ensuring that if they do invest any bludger or beater pressure into the offensive set, they always have an opportunity to get back on defense before San Antonio has a chance to get down the field.
Right.
Really, the only moment that I can remember came out of a Ren Lieber type run where it was just a bobbled pass on the from right to left that kind of fizzled out as far as potential in the play. So if San Antonio can force New York to invest a little more heavily, make some even trades closer to your hoops, maybe you do get that fast break back the other way.
Yeah, that's a great point because it's such a big part of their identity. It was a big part of their identity in 2019 when they upset Indianapolis in the quarterfinals and played well in the semifinals too. It was a big part of their identity during the regular season this year. And I would like to see them try to get back to it, and I think you laid out well how they could go about doing that.
Yeah, and Bailey Fields does have a bludger, so John Jackson happy to wait for Devin Lee to come and join Frank Minson as a beater duo to clear a lane here. Morella flanking on the left side. Mike Lee on the right. And John Jackson just trying to feel it out. Gets to the right side. A little havoc by Devin Lee, but Fields is going to recover. Jackson now slowing it down. Morella looking on that left side hoop. If it is vacated at all, she is going to step in and score. And now we get it on the other side. Oh, a quick turn and score from behind? I mean, locating the hoop, one thing, of course, but making sure that the defender is not able to block that shot is just kind of posting up backwards through the hoop.
Yeah, and Bailey Fields did well there to hold off Devin Lee for a little bit while her partner, Kylie McBride, was serving time in the penalty box. But she just couldn't hold off any longer against one of the best beaters in the sport.
Yeah, and Peter Lawrence, I mean, I already mentioned just the skill set that they've got around the hoops is phenomenal. All right, the drive, but the tackle's going to be great by Mike Lee.
Yeah, another huge wrap from Lee, although the referees are going to assess him a yellow card as Lee can't believe it, wraps his hands around his head.
Yeah, McIntyre now with an opportunity. He is staring at Frank Minson, who's holding a bludger. Morella to Frank's left. And John Jackson, who's just been an absolute menace, a black hole around this hoop.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Jay Stewart working in the middle of the field. Unsure if they called the reset to it being the first action after the play, but I'm going to operate on the fact that it was. McIntyre with a long shot does not drop through the top hoop. Jay Stewart not able to clean it up. Morella is the one who comes away with the ball.
Great job by Mel Kite to draw the beater in. I believe it was Minson, and create a no-bludger opportunity for her team, which McIntyre was not able to convert with the teardrop. Would have liked to see him take a few more steps, get a little bit closer, or use one of his passing options that were running with him. Still, Mel Kite with a great example of how a chaser can create a no-bludger opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. A big veteran experience, honestly, for a veteran-type play out of Mel Kite, who is so comfortable ball carrying for the San Antonio team. My Heimbaugh trying to make New York work for their beater influence on the offensive end.
Yeah, and Kite mentioned, actually, that one of the things that San Antonio was working on was trying to beat the press.
Yeah.
And she did it very effectively there herself.
Yep. Rosenberg, excuse me, getting in. I mixed up I am losing it, I think. Heimbaugh and Rosenberg. There we go. That's a beater duo, across the nation. That would be tough, honestly, to say.
Yeah, we would need to break out the tongue twisters pre-game read.
Well, see, if we do end up with that New York-Austin final, John Jackson getting beat by Jackson Johnson will be my bane.
Yeah, you've been waiting all day for that, and we haven't even gotten to the series yet.
I am not looking forward to it. I am not. I am going to mess that up so much. All right, McIntyre on the drive. Now we get the fast break offense, and he's going to be able to score this time. It is good. He gets the ball off right before the beat. very crucial, and San Antonio needs to ride this momentum that they've got now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've wanted to see from San Antonio. I didn't quite catch how the beater game played out.
Ayala Silver on the ground with the bludger,
Yeah.
or contesting the bludger of Maya Heimbaugh.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
enough
Ren
chaos.
Lieber, thank you. Thank you. I missed the substitution. They've got such similar running styles. I mean, they both just fly down the field so effortlessly.
Yeah, really fun players to watch
Yeah.
all around today, honestly.
All the San Antonio fans just furious, I think. My apologies. Yeah, that's 4 cards for the New York side. Frank Minson. I mean, 3 beaters for my Yellow Silver now. I mean, this is what's keeping San Antonio even close in this game. They are down 3 currently, but, I mean, without those cards, it's a different game, and San Antonio happy to let them just take themselves out of the game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You can bring the physicality, but you have to be careful that you stay and follow the rules because if you start getting cards, it's going to hurt your team.
All right, Maya pressing. Heimbaugh getting bludger control now. And Mike Lee and Morella are the primary ball carriers while John Jackson is able to tag back in. San Antonio's press. Just trying to find some opportunity, maybe a bad pass or a bobbled catch, and that might create the opportunity. But you have to take what you can get.
Yeah, I think at the moment they're going to want to try to kill the penalty to Rachel Ayala Silver.
Yeah.
That's why John Jackson is working so slowly on the wing.
Yeah, and you'd love to see De La Fuente and Heimbaugh really pressure with these
Yeah, that's a
bludgers.
good
They
point.
can't lose control,
Right.
given the fact that New York only has 1 beater, but now Ayala Silver is back almost as if she never left.
Right, yeah, this was a fast break opportunity for San Antonio to force a turnover, but they weren't able to capitalize.
And then we get the trade. New York is the one dictating the pace of the play, not San Antonio. That's a big problem.
Yeah, New York has to be really happy with how that sequence just played out.
San Antonio still has control, but my Heimbaugh might have to hustle to beat this. Does not get there. Ayala Silver is the one to recover. San Antonio only has 1 bludger. Jay Stewart trying to create some havoc, and Morella might be picking up a card for some contact. Rosenberg trading with De La Fuente. Now San Antonio's got bludger control with a card coming. No. Ref drops the hand. No card coming.
Yeah, I think head referee Ricky Nelson is just going to issue a warning to Lindsay Morella for some contact that was issued after the tackle as Morella kind of shook off her defender, Jay Stewart.
Yeah. Austin Viejo back on the pitch. On the heels of De La Fuente and between Maya Heimbaugh as well. Ooh, a risky beat, but it works out. Rosenberg's going to go down as well. Michael Lee there to create something. And now a good shake here. A big play. Oh, the whistle's going to go right before the shot. You have to think that's against New York then.
Yeah, I think John Jackson was beat and couldn't quite get out of the way. Ended up setting a screen effectively for his teammate, Vinny Iannucci.
Yeah.
And the refs are going to turn the quaffle over to San Antonio. I think that's the right call.
Yep. And now the fast break. Langlanet. Bludger's coming through. He's going to not break 1 tackle. Michael Lee, another big tackle for this New York defense. Austin Viejo's going to be able to pick that one up around Morella. The block coming through.
Yeah.
Quaffle's going to go out of bounds. Viejo's going to be the one to recover. Re-interplay. Langlanet on the right side. Recovery. Melkite driving, throwing, scoring on the top hoop. Big energy from this San Antonio side now.
Yeah, Melkite from distance. That's something she told us she's been working on. Shooters got to shoot, hey?
I mean, if you're putting it in like that, absolutely.
Through a tackle from John Jackson. That is not easy to take and stay on target. The New York is bringing the physicality, but San Antonio knows how to handle it.
I mean, that was the loudest this championship field crowd has been all day. That was a huge play for Melkite. All right, New York trying to stop this San Antonio newly minted momentum here, and that's not going to happen. A one-handed grab from Lieber.
Yeah, and we're at the 20-minute mark now. That was the last offensive possession of the first half. So we're heading into snitch on pitch now.
I said if they can get within 2 and score the final goal for that first 20 minutes, they're going to feel really good about this play, and I'm pretty sure they've got bludger control.
Yeah. And coming right after a play by one of their emotional leaders, one of their strategic leaders, Melkite, with just an outstanding display of individual brilliance on the shot. San Antonio has to feel really good right now. Maybe that's the spark for them to make a comeback here in Game 2.
And Noah Schwartz with, like, the fact of the day here, the fact that this 5-7 score in this San Antonio New York game is exactly the same as that Charlotte New York game, and we could be seeing maybe a repeat performance and possible collapse of at least one game here for New York and another 3-game series possibility.
Yeah, New York was winning against Charlotte. Charlotte, of course, had league-leading seeker Ryan Davis in for them. San Antonio has been going to John Alvarez, I believe, and he's gotten a hand around the waist a couple times and gotten close.
Yeah.
Although I believe San Antonio is yet to catch at this tournament.
Yeah.
I believe Indianapolis caught twice yesterday in losses, and New York caught in Game 1 with Vinny Iannucci, hoping to ride the hot hand here in Game 3.
And Alvarez comes in as, in the regular season, this tied for second in most snitch catches on the regular season. So it's not to say that Alvarez can't make it happen. He's shown time and time again that he can. Now, it's just putting it all together, a great quaffle performance, a bit of card trouble from New York, and a snitch catch for San Antonio. Those are the recipes to get them this win here.
Yeah, it looks like San Antonio is actually going to send in Jay Stewart as seeker. He's played a lot of seeker minutes for them. And for New York, Peter Lawrence is going to start with the yellow headband. They are going to give their best shot at the snitch.
And Jay Stewart, just one catch behind Alvarez on that list. So this is not too much of a drop off, if any, at all. And Jay Stewart, such a young player coming in from the UTSA program, has been a absolute star for them and at the college level. And just the fact that we've seen as much of an impact from him already, I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and it looks like the substitution of Lawrence was a decoy as Kellen Cupid, the usual New York starting seeker, comes into the game now opposite Stewart.
Yeah.
What a catch by Devin Lee.
And a pass from Lieber is going to get bobbled and dropped on the other end. Parada is going to be the one fast breaking to the other side. Melkite not able to slow him down, and that's going to be an easy score for New York. Momentum out of play now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're back to New York feeling good.
Yeah, outstanding recognition from Parada from the defensive keeper zone. This is what he does best, taking the quaffle the other way, running fast, getting the goal when New York needs him to.
Yep, and Devin Lee trying to get a little cute with the kick beat. Taylor Tracy not going to be shaken by that, and it's a push in the back that's going to be another off broom for these beaters of New York, and a big tackle against Melkite. Taylor Crawford bringing her down.
Yeah,
a little slow to get up. She's going to take a sub. After such a huge goal, you have to hope that she is able to get back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. She means so much to them, the San Antonio team. And good to see her walking off on her own power.
Yeah. Maybe just needing a breather here.
Yeah.
In for the substitution, though, Jenna Adams, also with a goal this game. Possible handoff coming. Nope. Retreat, Jenna Adams gets the ball off to Reber. Reber going to the left side. Driving to the left side just way faster than anybody on New York out there. I mean, that's San Antonio, the speed that I want to see out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. If San Antonio is going to stay in this game, they're going to have to use their speed to make New York players miss.
big jump dodge from Lee, but then he gets pickpocketed essentially by De La Fuente. Minson's going to be able to chase down that bludger from De La Fuente as he gets a little bit lazy, and dismount before snitch catch. No good. Lawrence is going to be able to drive in, and that shot is getting called no good by the San Antonio sideline, possibly a little bit biased, but Lawrence felt like that one was good.
Yeah, and just outstanding beater play right now over the past minute or so. Chris De La Fuente made a catch on Devin Lee, and then on an attempted throwback, Frank Minson runs like half the length of the pitch to track down the bludger and beat De La Fuente in a foot race. This is just supremely entertaining right now.
Yeah, and to clarify, that was a no-good goal. San Antonio correct on this one, and it's still a 2-goal game. San Antonio only down 2. A snitch catch is going to not only close that gap, but give them a lead of their own, and possibly a run out of bounds for San Antonio to turn this ball over.
Yeah, that's a really key turnover, and you saw the New York sideline respond.
Yeah.
Anytime in a no-bludger situation, your chaser defense can force a turnover, you have to be really happy.
Rutledge is the one stepping out there. John Jackson passing backwards. Crawford looking to drive. Able to get there and score, just ducking under the defense, watching the hands fly by.
Yeah, Crawford is just so hard to take down. He works so well in tight spaces with his low center of gravity and his nose for the hoops. Love to see him getting on the board.
Alvarez getting just a ton of solo time with this snitch. San Antonio feeling really good. They've got bludger control, but on the Quaffle end, it's going to be a big tackle by Lawrence. They've been so good and have had such a big impact. First goal, or scoring the first goals of each of these first 2 games, and with the big physicality on the other end, they are just so key for this team.
And San Antonio has just established a really tight bubble right now, as Alvarez is so close to our snitch, Tyler Trudeau, head coach of the Washington Admirals.
Yep, and John Jackson driving, but thinking better of it, waiting for the rest of his team. And Crawford with another goal? Yeah.
I think so. I missed it.
Yeah, the angle for me was just terrible, but it absolutely goes through. The head ref calls it good. Another goal for Taylor Crawford, their leading scorer in the semifinals by a long shot.
And Vinny Iannucci is taking a shift in at seeker now, although he's beat quickly by the San Antonio pair of Tyler Tracy and Chris De La Fuente.
Those fresh legs could be so huge, and Austin Viejo capitalizing on the other end. We're seeing a lot of Quaffle goals now. We're getting really close to a point where this snitch catch might end the game by itself.
Yeah, a New York snitch catch would end the game. The set score is 130. And Craig Garrison has
over
a
the top
pull.
He reaches over the top with these long arms, almost a Reed Richards impersonation, extending that reach beyond. And Tyler Trudeau, not a small person.
No.
That's a big back to go down to get that snitch.
No, but Craig Garrison using his own height. Garrison, one of the most experienced players on the San Antonio roster, one of the earliest UTSA programs from which the San Antonio Soldados pull heavily from. He's an assistant coach for this team. This would be a huge pull for him, though.
I mean, Craig is just hoping, literally praying at this point, that they call this good. Any sort of infraction as far as holding the snitch or anything might pull that off. But, I mean, obviously, Craig is going to lobby for that catch. In San Antonio, just feeling that energy.
Yeah.
Even if it's not called good, I think that they are just so invested into this game. They are truly energized by what's happening here.
For sure. Now, it would be his Garrison's first catch of the season, and it would be San Antonio's first catch of MLQ championship here in Howard County, Maryland.
I mean, what a time to get it, though.
Yeah. Could not have come at a better time.
Yeah. On the edge of my seat, literally, waiting here. If anything, just to see the players a bit better. But San Antonio has had control the whole time. They call the snitch grab no good.
Yeah, a long discussion from the referees.
Yeah.
You had to think that was not good for the Soldados, although Garrison with the momentum, feeling the momentum from his sideline from the fans is going to take another go.
And CJ Jr. catching the bludger here from Taylor Tracy, going to get control. De La Fuente kneeing that one back, and that could be San Antonio with control, but Craig Garrison trying to get another stab at it. The beater play is going to be a little bit absent. John Jackson on the other end trying to create a bit more of a buffer. Morella is going to catch that pass and score. That's a good shot. New York, all they need to do is catch a snitch.
Yeah, and the pair of CJ Jr. and Jason Rosenberg are going to recover bludger control, but Rosenberg loses it right back to Chris De La Fuente.
2 more goals for New York. That's a win. 1 snitch catch, and that's a win.
Right. San
Antonio feeling the pressure. CJ Jr. not getting beat there and able to keep his bludger. Kellen Cupid now grabbing.
Yeah, this is the first extended time for Cupid with a snitch.
All right, one more drive here. Lawrence going through in almost uncontested.
Yeah.
They are just, I mean, walking through the San Antonio defense.
And a big two-handed slam with authority for Lawrence.
In New York now, 1 goal away. That's it. Oh, now, okay, now we have a game. Now we have a game.
New York needing only 1 goal left to reach the set score. San Antonio with possession and a snitch sock in the hand of Jay Stewart. They would pull to down only 2 goals. They would need 3 goals to win.
Just what you needed from a young player like Jay Stewart. Big catch to bring San Antonio back into this game. 3 goals, you already said it, to win this game. Now that the Beaters can re-enter the quaffle play, San Antonio just hoping that that is going to be enough to stop this New York assault that has happened in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, Stewart rising to the occasion in his first MLQ championship.
All right, quaffle with San Antonio. The drive from McIntyre. Austin Viejo on the receiving end bobbles it. And John Jackson has to pull off the contact, so the behind the back is not called. Austin Viejo is going to capitalize on that and score.
That's a really big goal, and we have a 1-goal game now. Next goal wins for New York. 2 goals win for San Antonio. They have to get a stop here now.
CJ Jr. getting some huge minutes right now and
yeah.
really playing up to the game. He was able to make a big catch to get control. Give New York a couple, and Kellen Cupid a couple tries at the snitch, and now trying to get this bludger on the ground, racing, it appears, Bailey Fields to the bludger.
Yeah, Junior is a vocal leader in the New York Titans beating core, even though he plays maybe less minutes than some of his teammates.
Yeah, Frank Minson subbing out now. We've got Lee coming in now for New York. And without bludger control, it is a little more difficult. But, we're going to get a call here on Langlanet for a swatted bludger.
And this is textbook from Junior. He knows the rules better than anyone, and he knows when there's a swat on one of his bludgers.
Langlanet escorting himself off the pitch, knowing the card is coming. And with the power play, New York, I wasn't too confident that they could score on the 2 bludger defense, but now there's a lot better chance. Chris De La Fuente catching the bludger. David Lee kicking, and that's going to be an opportunity. Taylor Crawford driving in. He's got to make this goal to go, and that's going to be game. New York takes it 2-0 on the final goal from Taylor Crawford, their leading scorer coming through clutch.
Yeah, and the New York Titans advanced to their first MLQ championship since 2015, the inaugural season of the league. This is the mountain that the New York Titans have been hoping to climb, and they're going to get a chance to compete for the Benepi Cup.
Such an amazing story. New York coming off a tight regular season, one of the toughest regions in the nation. I gotcha. But San Antonio, their weekend, their season is over, but what an incredible performance. What a gutsy performance from them.
That's exactly the right word because they were several players down.
Yeah.
They had Bailey Fields flying in today for the games. She made a big difference, allowed them to play some of their favorite lineups, and just made life really difficult for the New York Titans in the course of getting to the finals. New York has been well tested. You mentioned the regular season. They face stiff competition in the East Division with the Washington Admirals and the Boston Forge giving them tight series, as well as the Charlotte Aviators, both in the regular season and earlier yesterday in the quarterfinals. So they've been tested. They're now going to play the winner of Boston and Austin, two teams that they know well.
Yeah, and Austin looking for the 2-0. Austin, once again, sorry, Nick Jablonski letting me know the game time, but Austin going to be going for that 2-0. Boston looking to even the score. I'm kind of personally hoping for a 3-game series, but be sure to join us in 10 minutes for the Austin-Boston game.
Yeah, it's going to be Ethan Sturm and Noah Schwartz on the call.
Yeah, see you soon.